Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all figuring out together how to peace out, right? I know I'm still figuring it out, but it's coming. It's coming. It's getting there, right? That's kind of what we're going to talk about this morning too. Anyway, so I was thinking about several different passages. I was thinking about all these different psalms, and I was thinking about the prayers, the way David prayed, the pace of Moses. There's several authors of psalms, and so I was thinking about how they just poured their hearts out, right? And how they brought their requests to God, and they were so open and honest and vulnerable and transparent with their requests to God. And then I started thinking, what if, because it kind of depends on the circumstances, right? Sometimes I just jump in and I'm like, okay, God, I need help with this, right? And then sometimes I'm like, God, I don't know what to do with this, and then I'm crying and I'm giving it all to Him. There's all these different moods that we can have in prayer, and there's so many different ways to ask God for help, for wisdom, but it's all simple. But I just thought about how they, there's those times you just don't have words, and it's just that heart is just pouring out before God. And so then I started thinking, what if I started my prayers with a declaration instead of the declaration being at the end? Now, the Psalms almost all, not always, but a lot of times the declarations are at the end because they're giving God, they're going, okay, God, David's pattern was this. Okay, God, I know you're God. I'm going to bless your name. Here's my problem. He gives God his prayer, or he pours out his heart or makes his request. Then he reminds himself of the things God has done in the past. And he's like, okay, you're a God of wonders, a God of majesty. You've done wonders. You heal. You give wisdom. You give direction. You watch over us. He reminds himself of all God has done. Then he makes his declaration. That's what most of the Psalms do, right? And then he declares, I'm going to trust you. But what I said, my thinking was this: what if I flipped that around and started before I even tell God what I want, before I even start into pouring out my heart, before I ever even get to the place where I'm saying, okay, God, I really need you. What if I just started with, God, I trust you? There's two Psalms that did that. Now, Psalm 34 starts with, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will continually be in my mouth. But that one, the whole Psalm was praise. So it didn't have any prayers in it. But I did find two. Psalm 101 was one of them. He started with, I will sing of your love and justice. I will praise you. I will be careful to live a blameless life. So he started with some praise. He started with, I will sing and I will praise you. And then Psalm, which one's the other one? 123, he starts with this: I will lift my eyes to you, O God, enthroned in heaven. We look to you for mercy. So then he starts asking for mercy. But his first, and I don't even know who wrote this one, doesn't know who wrote this song, but his first thing was, I lift my eyes to you. In Psalm 121, he started kind of like that too. He said, I look to the mountains. Where does my help come from? And then he answers his own question in Psalm 121. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. But what if so here's my task for me today, because I have this tendency to turn my thoughts into prayers. Now, thinking about something like, oh, okay, go, Lord, I just really need wisdom with this, or show me how to handle this, or can I just give you this because this just really hurts, or can I give you this because it's just not working right, or something. And I can ask God for stuff, for whatever it is that I'm needing in that moment. But I think today I'm going to practice starting with, God, I trust you. Lord, I'm coming to you this morning. I'm just going to trust you. No matter what gets put on my plate today, no matter what gets taken off my plate today, I'm just going to trust you. And so I've been thinking about this probably ever since yesterday's devotion, right? I've been thinking, what if I started my prayers with that declaration? God, I trust you. God, I praise you. See, it's easy to praise God when things go our way. Thank God, that this didn't happen or that didn't happen, or thank God it wasn't worse, or thank God, I got my healing, or thank God I got some money came through in the last minute, or thank God for these things. It's easy to thank Him for getting what we wanted, but what if we just started thanking Him in advance just because He's God? And Paul tells us in the New Testament to give thanks in everything, and so then there's some things we're not going to be thankful for. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be thankful that my son had a wreck. I'm just not going to. But I can be thankful for so many of the different things that have happened since then. I can be thankful for the truth that God walks with me through each day of caregiving. I can be thankful that He's provided for me throughout all this time. I can be thankful that I have not lacked grace or mercy. It's just undergirded me through the journey. So there's a lot of things to be thankful for. But what if and I'm back to the one point I was saying, it's easy to be thankful when it goes our way, but can we be thankful when it doesn't? So if we start our prayer, and I'm going to practice this all weekend, so I'll probably report to you later. But I was thinking, if I start my prayers with God, I just trust you, no matter what. Whether I get the answers I want or not, whether things go my way or not, I'm just going to trust. I just trust you as my protector, as my Father, as my God, as the creator of all these things. I just trust you. And you know what? I think a lot of things may just kind of get resolved when we come to that resolve of, God, I just trust you. So I'm going to just start today with that declaration. I trust you with today. I just trust you with today. And everything that comes up today, I'm just going to give it back to Him and go, I trust you. I just trust you, God. I'm just going to trust you. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to ask you 100 times. I'm just going to say, okay, this happened. I just trust you. Whether it's trusting for the grace to get through, wisdom to figure something out, or trusting just for that His mercies are new this morning and they're carrying me through the day, trusting that He still loves us, trusting that He's still with me, no matter what gets put on my plate, no matter what gets taken off my plate, no matter what happens in between my plates, right? I just trust God. And so I just encourage you today to start your prayers. Just try it this weekend and see if it makes a difference. It may not. I think it'll change here. It may not change in circumstances, but it'll change this in our heart, right? If we just start our prayers now with, well, I'm just going to try it for the weekend probably. I'm just going to try it and just start my prayers with, God, I trust you. And God, I thank you for grace. I thank you for mercy. I thank you for wisdom. I trust you. So try that declaration at the first of your prayers for a couple of days and let me know how it goes. Because, that's the thing is that God is trustworthy, that God is faithful. And when we build our prayer on that kind of statement, even if we don't say it out loud, of faith, of I just trust you, God, no matter what comes, I think we'll see things differently, and we may see more answers than maybe we'll recognize more answers because of the attitude change than we would have before, right? So today's declaration, I trust you, God. Do that, try it, have a great weekend. I will see you again in the morning. Have a great day.